morning. It's still morning. I've been canning chicken breasts this morning, and the canner just now done. So I've turned it off, and I'm going outside. We had a storm move through about 3:45 in the a.m. this morning, and when I checked and looked outside, I could hear the hail hitting the side of my house, and it was hailing. So I was really concerned about my garden. Look over here. My tomato plant. Here I have 2, 3 here, and I see some major stuff that got broken. I think maybe this is a Cherokee purple, but look, that's broken right there. Yeah, I'm gonna just take it and snip it off. I hate to see that happen, and this may not be able to go ahead and make anything as far as that particular branch. These sweet potato slips really need to come out of here. See what they're growing from? They're growing from one of my last year's sweet potatoes that I put in the ground in April. And these are all slips. Those are all slips, and they're going to go into some water. Excuse me. I'm allergic to something out here. So I've got to get them out of there so this tomato plant can get the nutrition it needs, and I need to get this green onion out of here. Look how wild that is. The zinnia is going to stay. In this particular one right here, I have, in this big grow bag, I have another large tomato. I see broken stem on it. The hail and wind was really bad. This one, which is a Sweet Cherry 1000, I grew all my own seeds, but these 2 cherry tomatoes I have another one down there. Wow, look how beat up it got. I mean, it was hailing really hard. See that, how it's broken? I'll have to come and do surgery on it. So I'm gonna go down to the main garden. Beauty. This is like a miniature Gomphrena, and I have a couple flagstone steps over here, and you see that Coreopsis, the yellow one? I'd grown Coreopsis from seed in a box over here that mint took over. Unless you all want your whole patio to be covered with mint, telling people to put it into a pot isn't enough. It will go ahead and find its way out of that pot if there's a hole in the bottom, and it will go underground, and it roots itself everywhere. So I'm so glad to have that Coreopsis. It somehow escaped and was growing with its roots actually under a flagstone. And I really like the way the hibiscus are doing. I need to deadhead them this morning, but aren't they gorgeous? They're so pretty. Show you what a beautiful day it is after the storm, but it's humid. It's very humid, which is just how it is in Missouri. See the borage, how beautiful. And the peas. I want to get a good look at the peas. And here's a sunflower that, thankfully, a bird of some type that goes to the bird feeder and then comes over here and eats its seeds on this cattle panel. It's seeded. I've got about 3 different volunteer ones. Sometimes I have heard that you really can't grow vegetables well by sunflowers, and that's not been my experience. I have some volunteer pole beans that I decided to leave, and I have dill everywhere. This dill's getting ready to go to flower, which is fine with me. And my garlic scapes have been removed. My garlic there, and then I'll move you over here, and my garlic down through here, and then I started with onions. Those onions got huge last year, those candy onions, and were delicious. The garlic is doing well. I left a scape on one, just on one. I wanted it to go ahead and go and get some seed. Now here, there's a tomato that needs to be tied up badly. That's a volunteer tomato, and for it to be where it's at, that means, oh, I just saw a honeybee come. Oh, that's exciting for me. Very exciting. That means the borage is doing its job. Good job, little bee. And what I was going to say about this tomato, that means it was a Sweet Cherry 100 is what I had last year. So we'll go around to the tomatoes, the larger tomatoes that are in there. They're beautiful, they're thriving, and they got away from me. They've gotten away from me, and I need to really prune. And I'm not going to do a whole lot of pruning this year. I've got so many tomato plants, it's not necessary, and I have so many tomatoes canned and tomato products that I preserved last year through canning. I don't need to worry about it so much, about doing the perfection with my tomatoes. I just want them to be healthy. And these, look at these peas, they are just covered, absolutely covered. And down here are 2 sunflowers that I did plant. They're trying to find the sun right now. This pretty little purple bloom in here is from one of the beans that went ahead and seeded itself. I tell you, things want to grow. That's in all of my summer videos or spring videos. Things want to grow. I've had to pull so many cherry tomato seedlings out of these beds so that I wouldn't just be overrun with it. Now this, I'll show you the aftermath of the rain. It's quite messy down through here. So here's a nice tomato plant. Can't tell you what it is. My tomatoes this year, I grew them from seed except those 2 cherry tomatoes I told you about. But this one, I think, by looking at the blooms, I think it's a Cherokee Purple. And here's the stakes all ready to go. On the other side, there's a marigold. And, oh, you see those little seed-looking things right there? That's spinach that has gone to seed. I let one stay, and the beets will be ready soon. I have a lot of canned beets, so I didn't plant many this year. There is a volunteer carrot. Let me see if I can get a better look at that for you. That's a volunteer carrot. Back here we are with another tomato. So there's 5 tomatoes in this bed. Here's the garlic. There's some purple basil. I have zinnias. I plant flowers, and all of my zinnias this year are volunteer. And I would find them on the ground, and I would dig them up and come and put them where I wanted them. Easy way to grow stuff, right? The onions, let's look at how they're bulbing up. Let's look down here at this. Isn't that pretty? That's gorgeous. Those candy onions are great. I did put in, now these were starts, and I did put in probably 20 of the little onion buttons, some people call them. When I was growing up, my dad called them onion sets. Okay, there's the flower of this dill that's already going to seed. Look at this. The dill is just everywhere. My little great-granddaughter and I planted some peppers last week, and we were out here grazing, and we took a bite of dill, and she came back for her third one. She liked it so much. This also looks like a Cherokee Purple. If you want to know why do I not know, it's because my flats got mixed up. So beautiful blossoms, and I did take off, like I would take off, since this is June 1st. So with the past 2 weeks, I've been going to where there's these new ones, like new little blossoms starting, and I just nipped them off with my fingers and pinched them off because I wanted the plant to get some growth. I'm actually sinking down in the mud here. This is terrible. There's another tomato. That was that one and a couple others seeded up on the porch when I had given up on them. And I see in this broccoli that there's some little heads that are so edible, and they're really delicious. I'll come out and get them. This guy right here invaded something he shouldn't have. That's a blackberry plant that came from this monstrosity. Oh, I see that some of them are starting to get color, and they're still blooming. They're just laden with it. I have tomatoes right here. I'm going to stake each one to the one stake. And there's marigold. Let's go out and get a better look here. There we go. And over here we have onions, and we have that row of carrots that's doing great. I actually have eaten some carrots out of this bed over here that are volunteers and are self-seeded, I should say. And then those are green beans, and they actually have green beans on them. So things are moving along quickly here. I canned the chicken this morning because I thought, get the chicken canned so you can get ready for all this other stuff coming in, because it's time to make kraut. I have my bed of potatoes. It's only an 8-foot long, but they're great. And I reached down in under this particular plant last night and pulled out a nice red Norland potato. Here's my marigold to go with these big tomatoes. And do you see right here, look, this is the damage I was afraid of. But they'll live and they'll do okay, but I just hate that. The hail was terrible, the wind was terrible. So I've got to work on these. There's its partner right there, and there's 2 more. And I put a cage around this small one over here. Look at all the soil on the leaves. I do switch out the beds for my tomatoes, so I shouldn't have any disease with them, but I don't like seeing that soil like that. But it bent it over and splashed up. And in this bed, look at that nice head of cabbage. It's going to be kraut. You can see where I took one head out and used it. So these large ones are, the small ones are Stonehead, the large ones are Copenhagen Marketplace. And then right there is a grow bag filled with Kennebec potatoes, more borage. And I have zinnias in among the onions, which is kind of funny. Those onions look wonderful. They look wonderful. Now, here you'll see the white ones. Those are actually onion sets, and they look good. The yellow ones are candy. And here I have that basil. Looks like it got hit pretty hard. Not too bad. The zinnia took it worse. It's not as bad as I thought it might be, because when it was hailing so hard, I thought, wow, this is going to be terrible. So this is kind of it. I have one more tomato over here in this bed. If you hear the water running, it's this pipe over here where the water drains out into a creek on the other side. That's all I'm going to show up here. I may show more, but I was just wanting to see how badly everything got beat up. I hope you all have a wonderful day.